that. So, yes, it wasn't about no stats. It wasn't about how was Jalen going to run. We didn't care about none of that. He was healthy enough to play the game. He played. All we had to do was just win the game. It's hard to just beat up on bums all day. It's hard to do that. Play against number 2s, 3s, that's hard to do.
Did you ever call them bums?
I didn't.
You know what I mean? Like, I was a 2.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to say bum. I didn't, you know what?
Backups.
Backups. I got, you know.
I hurt a little bit.
You weren't ever a bum. I'm sorry. I should say bums. Backups.
Thank you.
Right? TV. Thank you. That's why, you know, I'm new at this. You help me out. Anyway, so we're playing the backups.
No swearing.
We're playing the backups. It's hard to just, like, come on. Think about this for a second. Like, AJ Brown, you know, he going against the number 3. It's like, you know I'm going to beat you. Like, you know this. So, yeah, all we had to do was get that win. That's what we did. Number 1 seed, Philadelphia.
Joy, are you pleased with the performance?
I think they could have had a better performance against the Giants' backups. I do think they could have looked better. But I wasn't really concerned about how they looked overall. I was concerned about how Jalen Hurts looked. Because not only are they going to have to go through Philadelphia is going to go how Jalen Hurts goes. And he was throwing the ball fine. We all know he can run, and they didn't really have him running like that because why risk it?
Yeah, why even play around with it?
Just get rid of it. So I think a game plan was good for him. Obviously, you know, Jake Elliott had to hit quite a few field goals.
We got to get him ready. We got to get him ready, though.
So
we got to get him ready, too, now.
He's
part of the team.
he needs to rest as well now. So, look, you got the number 1 seed. You get a week off to get everybody healthy. Again, it wasn't just about Jalen Hurts being healthy. They had a lot of players that were banged up, so now you get the week off. Everyone's got to come through Philadelphia. And more importantly, he looked capable of throwing the ball, which was the concern because the injury was to his throwing arm. So could they have looked better? Could have been more dominant against the backups? Sure. But they did what they needed to do.
They won the game. That's what matters. I was not as pleased with the performance. I was pleased with Jalen Hurts being healthy. Remember, that's all I cared about, his health first and foremost. And we didn't actually see Gardner Minshew for, like, any of the game because the Eagles didn't handle their business like I would have hoped. What's fascinating to me is I don't look at Jalen Hurts and see that same intimidation factor that I did earlier on in the season. His last 2 games passing, he hasn't looked great. You know this because we all keep in touch with it. We don't have any passing touchdowns. We have 3 interceptions, a 65 passer rating, where his first 12 games of the season, if I'm not mistaken, 22 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So when I'm looking at Hurts, I'm like, wait a second, Hurts, you got to get back to them first 12 games of the season while you give me that look, Shady.
Acho, you're killing me, Petey.
Why?
You're killing me. You sat here last week and praised Aaron Rodgers like up and down, like crazy.
He ain't thrown but 1 pick.
Yeah, he's been playing on the bare minimum. My boy been balling the whole year. And he has 2 bad games, and now you're writing them off?
Are you not worried that his 2 bad games are the last 2 games of the season? The last 2 games.
And you just told me you're not worried about that Cowboy performance. This is my thing.
I'm worried about Dak's ability.
This is my thing with you.
What's your
My thing with you is you play this game, you know. Being great for every...
It's hard.
It's hard to do. So a game or 2, come on, Acho.
At this moment, though, Shady.
Man, listen, you play good, you play bad, it happens. But I'm going to go with what I've seen more of this year. And I've seen more of Jalen Hurts balling. And you've seen it.
You're right.
The new glasses, the old glasses, whatever they are, you see him giving crazy workout. Come on, man.
It's the
like,
glasses. It's the glasses.
The more you text and tweet this guy, you just start talking crazy. Come on.
That's out of pocket. Because if I was a hater, which you say that I am, I would have pulled all that stuff up. If I was a hater, I would have been like, yeah, the Eagles really haven't looked that good in a month. Jalen Hurts didn't look that good for a second straight timeout. But I'm not a hater. No matter how much you want me to be, Shady, I am not. I said before the game, all they have to do is win. Get home field advantage. Make the postseason run through the link. They could have won that game to 3-0, and I wouldn't care. And I don't. I don't care. They get a week off. Good job, Dave. They get hurt guys healthy. They get time to game plan. Like, they get to sit back and watch everybody else beat each other up, and then they figure out who they play.
Do you care about, because we've been crushing Dak's performance, and rightfully so, pick sixes, picks against the Titans, et cetera. But Hurts does have no touchdowns, 3 interceptions in his last 2 outings. How much do you care about that, particularly given what you've seen of Dak Prescott and his interception?
It's mildly concerning, but in the scheme of Dak, I'm not like it's not even comparable. Like, I mean, I think Jalen Hurts has a lot more to accomplish. I mean, he's just still a really young player, but you can't argue with the week-to-week consistency. Like, 14 weeks of very good success versus 2 up and down kind of struggly weeks. It's not the same when you're talking about comparing to a guy that has thrown a pick in 7 straight games. I mean, that's a different level. if I was an Eagles fan, I would be mildly concerned in the back of my mind of like, we're not playing our best ball when it matters most. But that's why it was so important to get the week off. Because you might be playing a hell of a lot better ball if Lane Johnson is part of your offense.
Joy, I guess they're not counting rushing touchdowns. That don't count.
Well, yeah, they don't like to count rushing.
I didn't see him have any yesterday.
Yeah.
You said the last three. You just said the last 3 games, right? He's
Two
played.
games for Jalen Hurts.
And he's had 2 picks. You had 2 picks?
3 picks.
Okay.
We can have a nuanced
So-
conversation
so
about this.
I'm asking, are you guys going to add his rushing touchdowns?
Yeah, he just didn't have any yesterday.
No, in the last 2 games.
He know what he's doing.
Oh, in the
he know
last-
what he's doing. You the smartest guy on this desk. You know what you're doing right now.
Against the Bears.
I'm gonna mind my business. I'm gonna mind my
Against the
business.
Bears, he had 2 rushing touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken.
Does that 3?
During, yeah.
Do you want to count?
The game was 4 weeks ago. The game was 4 weeks ago.
Guys,
Yeah, but we're counting the interceptions from
You
that
just
game.
said the
But
last.
we're not counting the touchdowns.
So 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yo, Joy,
They all count for
take it
6
away.
points.
the offense
I can't-
doesn't look as good since they beat Tennessee, right? Like that's just a
Yeah,
fact.
but
Shady.
that's fair. But also the same. We just sat here and said the same thing about the Cowboys.
Totally.
Like, the interceptions don't matter because they're winning those games. In both of those games where he didn't play like he looked for most of the season, they did what in both?
And I'm not even worried about the interceptions because he's been so good at keeping them down. The offense just doesn't look as efficient. And I brought up Lane Johnson on purpose because they're not running the ball as dominantly as they have
We
been
need
all
Lane.
year.
We need Lane.
So-
We don't play as well when Lane's not there. If you look at the stats.
I'm not even going to say I'm mildly worried because they get the week off. If they can get some of those guys back, I think they'll be fine.
The other thing, though, I think Hurts has to run the ball in the playoffs. Because I was watching
You
yesterday.
think he
I'm like,
won't?
No, he will. He
Okay.
will. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Hurts has to run the ball in the
true. He
playoffs
does.
because that running game, like you're saying,
Yeah.
without Jalen Hurts' threat to tuck and pull it, linebackers are chilling, the holes are not as wide
RPO's
open.
not going to be as good.
Not
And we
as-
average 160 yards when he's playing, so he's going to run the ball in the playoffs. But don't worry, that dominant team you've seen all year, the Philadelphia Eagles, they'll be back.
Well, the Eagles, we will see them playing again this year. The Packers, not so much. Aaron Rodgers, $50 million this season, but no playoff appearance. Has that hurt his current team? Speak up, Joe.
Windows my whole career and everybody that we have in that locker room, all the coaches we have. You know, things are going to change year to year, but our window's always open.
Okay, Joe Shiesty.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
What a beast. What a beast.
That says it all. No words at all. Well, the Cowboys, they are already in the playoffs before yesterday's game. But remember, they could have had a 1 or 2 seed if some things had gone their way. Well, they got in their own way, losing to the Commanders in an ugly fashion. Dak Prescott only threw for 128 yards and added a pick 6. The Commanders blew out Dallas by 20. After the game, Dak said, "This is, quote, completely not who we are." I can't stand when people speak in double negatives. Give me that. Completely not who we are. Dave, 16 picks, 17 picks on the season.
20, 21?
I think it's 15.
Man,
15
my
picks
math
on
is
the
bad.
season.
How
My
many
math
of them
is-
actually count? Are they like real
At
picks?
this point, probably 9 of them.
I gotta ask though.
Probably 9 of them.
I asked in the group chat, like, is that one?
Yeah.
Is that the
No,
count?
I mean, yeah, probably 9 of them count.
Dave Hellman, Dak Prescott's play, is it finally a problem?
Dak Prescott's play yesterday was a huge problem. See, this is the culture. This is the sports culture these days. Is Dak plays one of the worst games of his career. He did. Look, Shade, listening to me? Are you listening? He played one of the worst games I have ever seen him play. It was only better than week 1 because he did put together one nice drive. Like, they had one nice drive at the end of the first half. They scored a touchdown. So it was better than week 1 against Tampa Bay. It's one of the 3 or 4 worst games I've ever seen Dak play. It's a huge problem. You're going to get laughed out of the playoffs playing that way. That's not who Dak has been this entire season. Just in case you don't trust me, his numbers from the last 3 weeks, the Cowboys are first in scoring offense. He's leading last 3 weeks, not yesterday. Yesterday was bad.
Last 3 weeks?
Just making sure. Yesterday was bad. He played really bad yesterday. The 3 weeks before that, he led the league in completion percentage. He was 4th in the league in yards per game. He was 2nd in the league in touchdowns over that span. He was 3rd in the league in quarterback rating over that span. He's playing good football for the most part. Week 1 against Tampa and week 18 against Washington, he looked atrocious. It's weird how he bookended it. He was like, let me start really, really bad and finish really, really bad too, and in the middle we'll play some good football. I don't know what to make of it, but it's hugely concerning. if he carries that over into the playoffs. He can't play that way and have them not get embarrassed. It's not going to happen. He can play the way he's been playing for most of the season, and they should probably be fine. But this wasn't that. They're two different things. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Shady?
Hey, I love the Dak guys that love Dak. It's cool. Hey, look, no beef. I get it. Yesterday was bad, but the last 3 games been great. Wait, the last 3 games was the Titans?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Washington? Are you counting them or no?
No.
Okay, so Titans. Who else was it?
The Eagles.
Eagles. And who else?